Today I'm pleased to be joined by the host of the most thermodynamically sound podcast in existence, Richard Dick Reeser and Rod Palmer from the Bitcoin Bugle.
Well, yeah. So the Bugle. I consider myself the John Galt of journalism, and I'm pretty confident that your audience knows who John Galt is. They're probably, living life in a way that is pretty base. They're probably listening to Bitcoin podcasts on occasion or frequently and reading Atlas Shrugged once a year. So, most journalists out there living on a fiat standard. They're employed by the CIA. They haven't listened to Bitcoin podcasts. They don't think Lynn Alden's hot. And if you don't know who Lynn Alden is, she is smoking hot. She's a Bitcoin macro commentator.
One of the things you talked about, like the servile class, it relies so much on, all of society in general, but relies on journalists. Like we watch TV, we read the newspaper, and they tell us how to think. They tell us what's going on in the news. They tell us what's going on in the economy. They tell us what's going on in Israel and Ukraine. And that is what they say is gospel. It is the truth. And that is what we rely on to make our decisions. And they started to lose our trust, and people have started to migrate to podcasts, especially Bitcoin podcasts.
Yeah, I think we definitely need more Bitcoin podcasts, but I think we also need a lot more libertarian podcasts. And it's pretty obvious that libertarian podcasts are pushing the envelope because the libertarian superhero Ron Paul is going to be a part of the Trump administration, and I would say that's only a result of podcasts.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But Larkin Rose is still having to post booty pics of his wife on his YouTube thumbnails to get any sort of engagement, which kind of shows that there's still a lot of room to be done in the libertarian podcasting world.
What are the Bugle's views on Lynn Alden? Does she actually have two ears? Tell us about Lynn Alden, kind of the most important things about her.
Well, I think the most important thing about her is she's hot. I don't know why this is a controversial subject in the little ecosystem that we're in, but, lots of people like to dispute the fact that Lynn is hot. And right. I think it just can be explained as they're homosexuals who don't find attractive women attractive.
Think about it like this. If you were hanging out with your buddy and his wife said that she wanted to set you up with her friend, Katie, and you asked, well, tell me about Katie. And she's like, well, she's really funny. She has a good job. She's really down to earth, has a good sense of humor. I'm going to start to think, oh shit, Katie is fat and ugly. But then I might still go through with it, and then I meet her, and she's hot. I'm like, oh my God, next time I ask you that question, just tell me the important information. Is your friend hot or not, right? So it's if you want me to tell you about Lynn Alden, I'm going to tell you that she's hot, and you can find out the rest of her personality later if that's what interests you, but she's hot.
Yeah, that's a very good description.
Yeah.
It's the only way if you actually want to create change, you have to either go to Diddy parties or support or / pay somebody to go for you to represent whatever you want done. That's the way that lobbying is really done.
I think that I just think that it would make Murray Rothbard so proud to know that the government's finally going to ban seed oils and fix our food. I think he'd be really proud of that.
Right. Yeah, they're definitely the best institution, but definitely the best organization to do it. Yeah, certainly.
It seems like something right out of Mises' playbook.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's what they they specialized in the Mises Academy this summer.
Maybe so. I mean, maybe. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Listening to too much Wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of incredible. Yeah. I mean, I think that the average person, you know, they kind of have an idea vaguely of what's good and bad for you. Like, a lot of people have been misled by government education. They think that smoking's bad. It's almost universal. Because people haven't really been given the opportunity to, you know, explore for themselves what's real. Or they haven't taken the plunge, done the proof of work. And that's just a result of living in the fiat world. But things are changing. You know, Bitcoin has won. And I think we're getting to the point where, you know, we just really need government to ban things, because people haven't gotten to that point yet where they're actually ready to make decisions for themselves based on what they know to be true.
I think we still live in a point in time where people need the government to ban things so that, like, they know what is good to do. Like, if you weren't smart enough to do the research to know that that COVID wasn't really that harmful, the government had to ban ivermectin, so people would go out and try to get this, you know, this simple medicine that, you know, is kind of antiviral and can cure a few like weird skin rashes, and they had to take that so when they got COVID, they didn't die, and they wouldn't have died anyway, but, you know, they took ivermectin or they took some supplements, and they just slowly learn, like, everything the government bans, but they ban something that really isn't that important. So, this is a psyop. So they just need the government to ban stuff instead of being able to do the research themselves. They need the government to show them the things that they have to try.
But, I mean, I think one of the most base parts about Trump is he is allegedly going to let Ross out of prison. And I think that's something people are pretty excited about.
Yeah, I think a lot of people I think we just learned that if you give enough money to a politician and you sacrifice enough of your own personal reputation and credibility to send for that politician, you might be able to get one person out of jail. It'd be worth it sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Tough position for him to be in, you know.
So Ross had to sacrifice a lot. So we kind of sacrificed a little bit of our ourselves a little bit, simping for a politician to get him out because he deserved it. He deserves to get out. And we had to do what we had to do. That's how I feel about it. You had to do what you had to do. It's a business deal.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I've been I definitely haven't either. But